Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Freeze, and welcome to the weekly live stream. And today we're going to talk about. I want to take a look at analyzing some of these bots that are going to be in the 5-star batch. Obviously, I did the reveal last week. Now, I will say we haven't gotten any of them in play test yet, so I'm not going to be showing the new versions, anything like that. They are saying that Rampage and Slug are going to be on the way to test for us soon. So, looking forward to taking a look at that, see what they're going to add to make him viable. And I also, I've been making a lot of videos. I made like 12 videos total this month, well, between live streams and videos. And one of the ones I was talking about was my new war team. And I want to look at that, and it's for a specific purpose that I want to look at. And I kind of mentioned it a few streams ago, but I want to see if that's going to be the case when the new war effects come out. So we'll take a look at that to see what kind of options we have for that as well. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the newsletter. And we got the 8th anniversary of Transformers Earth Wars this week. So shout out to Space Ape for just making it that far, man. It's tough for a lot of games to make it to see 8 years. So shout out to them for that. You can see, as I use for the thumbnail, I use the Decepticon version, the artwork. So looking pretty cool there. Oops. All right, so nice simple event, 300K. The finish, 110K for the guaranteed 5-star shards. So I like the way they're approaching this one. So you can get up to 500 or 5K, excuse me, 5-star shards. So that'll guarantee you a 5-star pull. Let me know in the chat who you're going for this weekend. I saw a couple of you guys already talking about it already, and I'll talk about mine's here in a little bit. Uh, you get up to 7 of the 500K Troop XP items, up to 350K Spark, so you can use it to upgrade that new 5-star you get. Up to 15 celebration canisters, and they all gonna hold 4-star, 3-star premium, shards. Your typical battle zones, and then you've got the chart for the next Cyber Pass. And be sure to check out all of your content creators, your official ones, Engineer Horse, myself, Soldier, and Sunstreak Awaza. And I was talking with some playtest buddies about this earlier, man. The rest of the saga schedule is still to be determined, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see what comes out there. You got a community corner, got some, man, that's a really, really cool drawing by Sailor Moon Dusk's Armada. And then retrospect got a couple of the figures up there. So pretty cool stuff. Um, Bug fixes and improvements. Hot Rod and Nemesis Prime are no longer going to be able to target minions. And be on the lookout for the Space Ape stream on Juneteenth. And that's all I got for the newsletter. So let's check out, see who we got in the chat. And I see that my good friend Candyman was in there first. Thanks for joining, Candyman. As well as Grim Studios, who Grim Studios thought he was first. Candyman beat him out by a split second. But thanks for joining us, Grim. And make sure you guys, if you hadn't already, subscribe to his channel. Got a lot of content creator friends in here. A lot of people making good stuff, man. Let's see. We got Volcanicus. Number 1 is with us again. Thanks for joining, Volcanicus. We got, speaking of content creators, probably my favorite one out there, the Mercenary Terror. Thanks for joining us, good friend and one of my moderators here. I had actually just left you a message right before I got on this stream, man. So like, hit me up, man. Let's see. I got my good friend Trax joining us again. Thanks for joining, Trax. Let's see. Yeah, you had a lot of conversation going on in here earlier. Another good friend of mine's Daddy Pig is with us. Thanks for joining Daddy Pig. The homie E Rods is with us again. Says hello everyone and hello to you E Rods. Tony B's with us again. Thanks for joining Tony B. Jackson Bass is with us again. Thanks for joining Jackson. We got the homie Lord Avix is with us again. Thanks for joining LA. We got C Mulkey 469. Thanks for joining us. Yes, and you are just in time for the party. And I'm just looking through some of the comments as I go along. Like Lord Avix says, having a 5-star flame war is a waste. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that a little bit today. Another fellow content creator, Big Blade 297, good friend of mine's and one of my moderators. Thanks for joining, buddy. And you know, make sure you subscribe to these guys. These guys, Mercenary Terror, Big Blade, Grim. Make sure you guys throw you guys' links down there so people can see your stuff, man. You said when did Tara asked me when I sent them. I sent one like maybe 20 minutes ago. Huh, that's weird. Yes, I thought I sent the comment through there. I say Skinny's in there with us again. Thanks for joining, Skinny. Yo, Grim out there in the chat wilding. Uh, Let me know if I miss anybody. I'll give you a shout out, man. But like, as always, man, I appreciate all you guys being here and just joining the stream, man. Like, it's been a real productive month, man. Like I said, I put out 12 videos this month. Um, I gained like just this week alone gained about 50 subscribers. So like, man, and listen, if you got friends that hadn't seen any of my videos or the live streams, man, encourage them to subscribe, man. I am coming up on 900 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can start getting ad revenue. So yeah, man. And this month really helped. This has been one of my most productive months in a really long time. So definitely looking forward to making more content. You see, I'm starting to put more stuff out. So I think I'm gonna start off by talking about my video that I made for my new war team. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to you guys and I was saying that there was a possibility. I'm gonna take him out. I'm not ready to talk about Dirtbag yet. And I was talking about what if, and we started this conversation in playtest. They were talking about if we somehow reduce the damage done by the gunners, and the reason why that was done. Actually, I'm not even using this squad. I'm using this squad. And so I built my war team, and I built it like this with the help of some of my alliance mates. Really thankful for their help because I was struggling for a little bit, man, and then I got back on track just with the help of some of my teammates. But I started looking around and I said, Bludgeon's going to be there, and a lot of people. I know who has and hasn't been watching my content because they always ask me why am I using him and not Headstrong. I don't have Headstrong on my main account, not as a 5-star at least. So I got Bludgeon first because I was going for other bots in the batch and I really enjoy him. So I'm gonna keep using him. He's maxed out, captain, all that stuff. So, but I was saying if they did something where they reduced the damage to the gunners, how could I survive? And I just started playing around with this, and I said to myself, well, I like having a good front out there as far as the Warriors. So I wound up putting block that pop outpost because one of the things that my teammates were starting to notice in my replays was that I'm always out there reaching to try to go pop out outposts. Sometimes that means I'm going to use a bludgeon ability. Sometimes that means I'm just going to wait until I'm just standing there. But at least I can take away that special ability a little bit. And then Run Amok and Half Shell were already there. Cutthroat I started using to kind of, I always use the term leapfrog. If I'm trying to protect myself, I always try to protect myself using those abilities of, cutthroat and tracks. And this is not the way I have them set up in the game. But anyway, yeah, I need to change that around. The way I got them set up in my actual, or do I? I think I might have still had, I might have had like a 3-star fracas on them or something like that. But this guy has actually been winning me a lot of wars, and I got into some debates lately where people are saying that he's not a war bot, but it's like you just can't beat that range, man. And the thing is I gotta have some kind of build bot killer. I started looking around and saying to myself, well, if they do anything where they reduce the gunners, that means Octo Punch, who I finally started using, is out. A lot of people just using, you know, a lot of people using Octo Punch and Sea Spray. A lot of people using Breakneck and Smoke Screen. A lot of people just using, just different gunners. Um, Warpath and Scully, you know, Skull Cruncher, because Terror is watching. But I just started to, and this is a little bit of an easier base, but when I look at the range on this, and I say, hey, it's going to take me some time, like right here or right now, to get a bunch of lightning rods. So what I actually started doing is I started taking lightning rods out with half shell. Now here it's a little bit weaker, so I probably can get away with using air raid and the AoE to probably get both of those mines down. I mean, excuse me, both of those build bots down. But like I said, this is a easier base. But I'm just kind of just going through some of the tactics that I've been using. But yeah, man, like I said, a lot of players were saying if they did wind up doing something with the war effects where they started doing reductions to gunners, like my point was is that it's going to screw up a lot of people's strategies, and people are going to have to start figuring out how they want to approach just different things in the game. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it will be good for the game or not. I think the war effects are finally starting to get worked. Dale is working on those this time. I'm curious to see how they come out. But yeah, this new team that I got, I'm starting to get into a rhythm with them. And I see a few folks joined the chat. I see Cuddy Fox joined us again. Thanks for joining the chat. Grim Studios. Hey, so he writing that in the SpongeBob language saying, how dare you not use Metabots? My good friend Joker, my first member, joined the chat. Thanks for joining, Joker. Yeah, and you know what? We didn't talk about that since I made the video. They did actually make a change to Thundercracker Special Ability 11. So let's talk about what we're doing with that. Now, a lot of people were just kind of looking forward to. It's just, and we had some weird stuff when they were showing that ability when I was looking at that video that I made, and then I, I gotta go talk about it. So this is what they actually changed it to. They said drop a bouncing EMP bomb that can hit up to 2 total targets, dealing approximately, it deals a bunch of damage because it's over 27 seconds. So let's actually take a closer look at that real quick, because I think that's something. It's a simple change, but it's something that adds value to what he does if it's working properly. Because when I was first testing it, it wasn't working properly. Candyman says, "How good would a 5-star cutthroat would how good would that have been? It would have been nice for sure." But I don't think that's one they're just gonna put in the batch. I think we're gonna have to force him into a batch by doing something like getting all the other combiner pieces or something. I think that's what it's going to take. I don't think they're just going to just do it on their own. So I just want to see. Yeah, no, it's still broken testing. Honestly, I was on Discord earlier today, and they were saying that they might actually wind up pushing some of the Ability 11 stuff back because we got so much content coming out right now. So they might do some more work on the Ability 11s. They're trying to work the endurance, but you still got some work with 5 star, got Neptune and Ruination. We got a lot of the content that's been coming out lately, and you still got the 5 star batch, which obviously got to get worked. And it's coming up on the end of the quarter, the sales quarter too. So I notice a lot more content starts coming out around the end of the sales quarter, which obviously it doesn't end until June, but you got to build all the stuff now for it to be released by the end of the quarter. So I imagine God, Neptune, and Ruination will probably take priority, as well as the endurance spot, and as well as the let's see, God, Neptune, Ruination, endurance spot, and the ability 11s. So I'm sure they'll come, but it's a lot of comments in here about 5 star Flame War today. So I say, man, shoot, man, let's go ahead and I actually want to take a look at the 4 star, but I probably need to go add some levels to her first. But one of the things I was talking about after I made the reveal, and I was talking to even before I made the reveal video, because I did it for my members first. So if you guys aren't members, a lot of times I'll show videos like that early. I'm really starting to get back into that again, just because, like, honestly, I just want to keep my stuff on the top of the algorithm. And like right now, they're suggesting my videos a lot for people that are Transformers Earth Wars fans, so or players. So yeah, that's how that's going. But anyway, I want to go in here and add some levels to Flame War, because I know when I did the video about Flame War, actually I just need to go over here, don't I? Inventory. But I'm gonna go take a look at her. I'm gonna take a look at her stats in a bit. But one of the things that I mentioned during that video is that she is not she's not meta anymore. So a lot of times when they make new 5 star batches, you're trying to make them into the meta, and a lot of people use her particularly as a sack bot. Now, of course, we got 6 mines on the battlefield now. If you're HQ 18, they made that part of phase 3. So you got to start to wonder a little bit, like, is she going to be viable? Um, I'll be honest with you, as they started to go up into HQ 18 phase 2, it was hard. It became very difficult to keep her alive as a 4 star. So the 5 star might get a little bit of a boost there. But I'm just not really sure. However, one of the things that I was talking about, and I want to make an actual individual videos for all these guys, and I made one discussing Dirtbag, because I know a few people that are like, really excited about Dirtbag. But I don't know. What do you guys actually think about this batch, man? Because I know a lot of people were saying they were going to skip the batch. Honestly, and it's not because I necessarily hate the batch per se, but I got other priorities I'm working on right now. Like I told you guys in, I think it was my war video? I was saying that, dude, I need ranged options. I need something that easily kill build bots. But yeah, so I want to take a look at Flame War real quick. So I took her up to level 67. That's where a lot of players typically stall at. And man, the key thing there, man, is that health. That health is just so low. So a lot of times, what I would do when just to try to keep her alive when I was doing that sack strategy is I would actually add, one of these health cores. But I mean, like honestly, this is one of those bots that's been outside of the meta for, well, I say probably about a year and a half now. And I see my good friend Chris Harmon joined the chat. One of my fellow moderators, one of my good friends and moderators. Thanks for joining. So yeah, back when SAC was really prevalent, you just go run this ability on bases like probably around this strength, and she can withstand some damage. But then she's just got too many counters. Like even on this weaker base, you see she kind of got ate up. So like I'm gonna actually use it on a base trial to see what it does because it's got all 6 mines and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think that when you when you're looking at a bot like that, like Flame War and Afterbreaker, I ain't been using the Autobot counterpart. Excuse me, Autobots. Ooh, test server crash. But yeah, like when I'm looking at a bot like that, like I don't think she needs a lot of work, but she definitely needs a lot of health. But I just want to kind of look at her. I want to look at her tooltip again because there's some things that a lot of us weren't even thinking about. Grim Studio said, "What about Special Force Flat Jacket?" Yeah, if I had one of those, man, like, dude, what happened to, like, I never see squad cores in game, and it's just like, at one point I was gonna try to actually go for squad cores with my Shanix, and then it just never worked out like that. I don't even have them on a playtest server, man. Not too many of them. But some of the stuff that people don't actually think about with Flame War and Afterbreaker is like, so you got a ring of fire, but you also do some electric, but so you can get a little bit of a stun going there. But then it says then you can put up your reflective shield, and so obviously that's affected by FFD. So while she's already got lower health, that comes into play. But what's interesting to me is that you can reflect enemies, you can prevent them from getting shielded. And so it makes me wonder, granted it's easily avoided, it does make me wonder if she could be a viable option on defense. I've seen her on defense before and I think it was more for the stun. But if somebody is using their rush tank and then she happens to pop out of outpost, especially now that we got 5 outposts at HQ 18. So I actually want to take a look at that in a minute too. But I'm curious to see, like, if we go give her a little bit of a boost. Ooh, I went the wrong way with my mouse, and it's just too easy. Like now her shielding's down. She popped a couple of outposts just because of the positioning on this particular base. But yeah, she's gone. So it's just kind of, I don't know. It's tough to justify. Every now and again, as the meta changes, some people go change some stuff around on their bases that lets it be susceptible to sack again. So could be good in those particular cases, but and I see Everett Snyder joined us. Thanks for joining, Everett. I see Jamie Carpenter joined us again too. Thanks for joining, man. I do want to try. I do want to see what she looks like on defense before I move on. And I see a lot of people in here fans of Tarn and Alphatron. I'll be honest, I hadn't really used those bots since testing. So I probably need to go learn that again just in case I go digging around in this batch. But I think I'm gonna, for me, I think I'm gonna go after Scully or Breakneck, um, and I'm gonna start that off with this anniversary event, just because I've seen a lot of people being able to just take out build bots so easily using that tactic. So actually, I probably should have took out that build bot. Cause if I'm a rush, I'm gonna rush into. Well, I need to start that over. I need to move that build bot, that FFT. Yeah, let's move this over to the side for testing purposes. Because the thing I want to really focus on is I want to focus on her taking away that shield. And yeah, Big Blade said, yeah, don't think about solo on the base, but shield bots when Flame War is close to HQ. And that's a fair point. Um, I was like, man, you kind of just being mean at that point, man. Like, but I said it's a good point, and maybe it's one of those things to consider is putting her close to the HQ because she dropped that shield and oops, and you can see, yeah, he took that shielding off of bludgeon. Now, might not mean too much in this particular type of situation, but closer to the HQ, I a lot of times I use mine closer to the HQ. I mean I use my rush tanks closer to the HQ. So I don't know. So that is something to think about, and I'll probably do some more testing. But all right, so let's talk about a little bit about Tarn and Alphatron. Obviously, endurance bot already a 5 star. Take a look at that tooltip. So I tell you what, I think they threw a lot at this particular bot, uh, but you do get a class specific buff, a different buff for every different type of class. So it kind of does make it like a jack of all trades thing. I already got the G1, increased damage, and gives the bot a heal impulse. So it's something that's going to be usable with your really with any team, and that's the part that makes it cool. Is you can use Tarn and Alphatron with any team that you put them on. I see King Grimlock joined us, my good friend from Playtest. Thanks for joining, buddy. So let's see. Let me put my bludgeon back on this squad. Let's see. I'll take Run Amok out. Get this dude to combat. No, I don't have the squad cool. I mean, I can go request it, but I ain't got it. So I ain't gonna try to dig around there for it because I have to go make a request for Space Ape and all that kind of stuff for it. But if you remind me on Discord, I can try to set it up for next time. Let's see. I'll probably just pull that fracas off of. Man, this thing keeps crashing. So Tony B says that Tarn and Alphatron needs either a cost reduction or a length increase of the ability or both. Yeah, and then Candyman kind of agrees. The good friend, one of my moderators, and one of my members, Fox the Bomb, joined us. Thanks for joining, Foggy. Let's see. Let me go look at that cost again. And I think they kind of just priced that one kind of high, just because it does a little bit of everything. What am I looking at? Yeah, I don't know why this thing keeps crashing on me. Went all the way back to. Yeah, it went back a couple of steps. All right, we can try to do this one more time. Yeah, Grim, I know we talk about that all the time. Like people don't try, don't try a lot of these bots. Uh, yeah, and it's one of them things, man. Like I like to have some fun playing the game, and a lot of guys look at my teams and say they look fun, but it's a really strategic part to it too. Obviously, I'm in a top 5 alliance, but sometimes my thing also, man, is like use what you got, and what I've been running into a lot, and I actually wanted to make a series about this stuff. So I want to make a series just talking about options you have for just different types of scenarios and just different, just different roles for all the different bots. Yeah, so it's that four. What is it? Alphatron and Tarn at 4+4. It looked like. Yeah, and it works great, but that is expensive. But I guess it depends on because like when you start taking stuff out as fast as you are with Alpha Trion and Tarn, you recoup a lot of those. Now, granted, this is a easier base. You recoup a lot of those points back. So yeah, it's just one of those bots I just have to sit around and play with a little bit more. But one of the things I do like, and I do remember this from when the bot first came out, is I like that this is something you could use if you needed the combo with some of your air class bots. I like that you could do that. I like that you could do some of the combos, and as they started to slowly fit out of the meta, I felt like it kind of filled a gap that you were using between the time you got your next gen bot. Yeah, we just talking about the new 5-star batch, man. It's kind of a slow week, man. I said I wish we had a little bit more going and actually released in playtest. So yeah, I'm just talking about the 5-star batch KG. Last week I was just kind of revealing them, and now I'm just kind of giving my opinions on them. But if you didn't see my video on Dirtbag, what I was saying was I actually he's an interesting bot, and so I was talking to one of my buddies earlier today, who's a huge fan of Dirtbag, and because during that video I was asking the question that with Dirtbag and Grapple, that ability it says it absorbs 95% of damage, and I think that damage is that 95% of the damage it absorbs. I think it's based on the actual health of the bot, which the bot has kind of crappy health. So I'm actually going to try Vitality now. I already got Fire Glide as the combat that's interacts for you guys on the Autobot side. And not really, well, I mean, that's not even doing that much though. I think his health definitely needs to come up a bunch. And honestly, if they either need to change that that ability, they need to change the ability, or they need to bring the cost down. Because once you go put this dude out there under fire, you put that alloy amount up there, dude, it's getting ate up. It doesn't even last the full 10 seconds. So I was talking to Chris yesterday, and Chris was like, "Man, Freeze, they need to make this thing. They need to make this mine like 20 seconds long." And I was like, you know, and Chris will tell you, I don't always agree. We don't always agree on everything, but everything he said about Dirtbag yesterday, I actually agreed with, because when I'm looking at this thing, and this is on an easier base, so it lasted the whole 10 seconds. I mean, it's on an easier base with me throwing Fire Glide and the, throwing a Vitality core at it just to go get it to last the entire 10 seconds. So I'm actually going to try that on my own base on the base trial. And I see Swoop joined us again. Thanks for joining, Swoop. And I'm actually trying to look around and see, because Dale had hit me up earlier, and I think we're gonna have some new topics to talk about. Uh, I'm probably gonna try to drop a video tomorrow, to be honest with you, just because whatever it is that he's coming out with, he seemed like he was pretty excited about it. So if it's that important, now I'm actually got I got time to record some videos this week. So let's see. So we'll try him in a base trial. Now, one of the things I was saying also is that I would love to see, and it wasn't my idea, it was one of my fellow playtesters' ideas. It was saying that maybe we could let this alloy mine pop outpost. I know some players were opposed to the idea, not necessarily in playtest, but players that I talked to after I released that video. And the other thing too is, I think that the healing. So one of my friends that plays this, that uses Dirtbag and Grapple, he was telling me that if so different sources like Grapple will stop healing, but he won't stop healing from like a power core, like a Micronus core or something like that. So I was like, man, well, that kind of sucks. I said, I think that needs to change. And that was one of the things that I was noticing when I was trying to do some testing with them on the video that I made. Now I want to try this again, but what I want to do is I want to actually pull off the the combat, and I want to pull off the power core and see if it makes a difference in how long this mine lasts. I do remember that. Candyman says, "Do I remember when all the Sharkticons would pop outpost?" Oh man, I didn't take anything off of them. I'm just talking. But yeah, like that was too much. You don't want some some bot just using this ability on a Sharkticon, but I think it I think that if you use an ability for something and that and it pops an outpost, that's okay. That's one of the reasons why I was never really too upset with sack strategy, because back when it was popular. But I do understand making counters and making it inconvenient for a sack, but it is what it is. I think that it's a strategy. You paid the ability points for it. When in the case of the Ramjet and Goldfire sack, you using that ability several times. So that's where it ends up being a problem, or potentially. All right, so I took off all of his stuff, his combat and his power cool. Now let's see how that mine does this time. Now it still made it. So I don't know. Let's say I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit more. But I do think there's some potential. I think we're gonna have to increase his health. And it sucks because you can't actually, he's a melee type bot. And so when you start having these melee type bots that are, let me pull them back up. When you have these melee type bots that kind of rush in, or not rush in, but are low health, then you start to see some of the problems, and it can make them kind of difficult to use in a team. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. But if you guys got any good ideas that you want me to present in playtest, let me know. All right, let's move on. I'm not gonna keep running him. I show him every week, damn near. But obviously you got Retgar and Junkheap, already a member of my war team. But let me take this out because people that keeps distracting people. I was doing some testing on some stuff, and I just put Beto in that spot. I put Shroot in the spot. But yeah, with Junkheap and Retgar, um, you know, obviously there are counters in place. A lot of people got turned off by the healing not being as high as some of the other healers. But for me, it's just that ability is really nice. It's expensive as I don't know what. But if you have to use this ability 3 and 4 times in the battle, uh, you got to if you get use this 3 or 4 times in battle, then it's a problem. Mm. Oh, we were talking about grapple. Cuddy Fox says I use grapple, and all I did was throw down 2 or 3 mines at either the beam lasers or MDS, and it does blow them up. Okay, yeah. So that's the trick, using multiple. I can see that. And the thing is, though, it just depends on what kind of base layout you look at, because it is it is expensive. So Tony B wants to drop Junkheap's ability, say make it about 5+5. And at one point in time we did have it at 5+5 in test, if I remember correctly. Now we're at 6.8. People's like, man, look, it's expensive, but you do get 100% of your health back. I hope we don't do anything to mess him up, trying to make him overpowered. But I mean, I think a cost reduction is appropriate. I mean, this thing, and this is what bothers me when I go to my base, and I'm actually gonna put this back where I had it. And you're looking at these buildbot cores, and well, I don't think I have any of the anti-healing ones currently on the base. But when you look at, man, I ain't got any of them maxed out on my test server. But uh, when you use that ray blockers, and it's reducing that enemy healing, and it's got that really wide radius, you know, it sucks because like if you go use that ability, and I don't use the U word very often, but that ability becomes completely negated, so it becomes useless. So at that point, you have to take out that particular build bot to use it. Now, for me, I'm using this ability late in battles if I get into trouble so that I can bail myself out. And so with the team that I'm using lately, what I found myself doing is I found myself that Blot and Rook get into trouble a lot. So what I'll do is I'll use the ability on Blot when I'm not near a Ray Blocker's core, just to make sure I keep him on the battlefield. But yeah, and that's what to Tony B's point. He's saying you don't get 100% because of the counters, so 5 plus 5 is appropriate. And it's crazy because they're starting to make counters earlier for everything these days. And so this dude came out, the counter was already in place, and it's like, huh. And then we got into the whole debate. Well, it's not a heal, it's it's a revive. And he's like, no, revive is healing. And I was like, man. And so it went from a bot that a lot of people actually wanted to being a bot that a lot of people, or at least people I know, wind up skipping. Yeah, and to your point, Cuddy, I am actually surprised they bought out Junkheap as a Decepticon. They could have, they had other options, but I don't know. It was weird. All right, let's see. I want to take a look at. And then, of course, we have. Then, of course, we got Rampage coming. So it looks like they're done with the first version of what we want to build for Rampage. And so I'm looking forward to that. So I will say this. So we've been talking about it in play testing. And actually, let me pull up my Discord real quick just so I can look. Because I'm being told that he's going to get an ability 11. So let me go look through my Discord real quick. Because he's going to get some cool stuff, and I don't have it yet. Well, yeah, so he's going to get ability 11 at some point. He's also the plan is to start out testing out some type of area of effect at ability 11. They're probably going to do a nice size increase for his base health points. So let me look at him. So I got him as a maxed out 4-star at 35k. So I mean, I put some right around the neighborhood of like Iron Bison. Off road's got more. Breakdown Prime's damn sure got more. I put them in the same neighborhood with like Sea Clan. Bone Crushers got more. So yeah, they made him a little lower in health than some of the other 4 stars. So they want to give that a decent sized bump. And the thing is, it's gonna take some work to give him some appeal, because at the end of the day, everybody's already using. Most players are using Ironhide and pipes. Um, I mean, well, yeah, either Ironhide or pipes if you're the Autobot, and then for the Decepticons, we obviously those counterparts are going to be Bludgeon and Headstrong. So a lot of people are still doing the acid rush, trying to go take down the healing clusters and such. And so you got to add some flair to this dude to try to make him good. So when he comes out, I do plan on making a video about him, and whatever else we get in there, I plan on making a video about. Like I told you guys, the first time I test anything, I want to share that with you guys. And then as it changes, I'll update you on the live streams and stuff like that. But overall, I think most of the rush tanks are good. But I think the problem you're always going to run into is, are you going to this dude, remove one of your bots from your team to go add this in? And I think it depends on what we do during this rework. If we do great during the rework, then people want to use them. So I think right now the fight that we're having is to try to make them more desirable. And honestly, it's been a priority from Dale. Like he's saying, "Hey man, we want to try to work these essentially one at a time," and that's been his priority, is to try to make Rampage and Slug desirable. Big Blaze says this definitely proves that Space 8 wanted Pipes to be the ultimate bot. I think that, and I remember when we first started doing the Rush Warriors, because people, at that particular time, people didn't want to use Rush Warriors. They were scared that hey, these guys are they're gonna get me killed. They're gonna get my healer killed. From a tactical standpoint, people had just stopped using them. I always loved my rush tanks, man. Like I just always thought that they were great. Most of them just had a little shield before they started adding elements to all of them and stuff like that. And I thought it was cool. I always tell that story, like when I was, using my 4-star headstrong, on one of my first war teams, and then I really started to like Tantrum, and then I got him maxed him out. I mean, I saved a bunch of like the Troop XP things, and as soon as I got him, that's when FFD came out, and then it was just so terrible. Like you just couldn't really use him anymore. Not effectively, because you go lose his shield, and then you lose all his reflection, and the reflection back then was actually, is actually meta worthy. Cuddy Fox says, I hope they also think of bringing out a core for Slug and Rampage too." So they didn't say that yet, but it would be cool. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it an evening. I'm gonna keep my eye out and see what we pop up with in playtest tomorrow. If that's the case, um, I'll try to shoot another video. If not, I'll probably try to shoot some more videos in later on in the week. I got lots of content ideas right now, and I'm feeling motivated as I get closer to that 1,000 subs. So make sure that you guys tell your friends, man, to sub to the channel, man, so I can get paid. But all right, man. I will see y'all next time, and I will also see you on the battlefield. Freezius out.